right now on Q6 and live on your mobile device. This is KHQ Local News Today.
At 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning on KHQ Local News Today, we'll be telling you how having an alarm system may have prevented a Spokane Valley coffee shop from being burglarized. Also ahead this morning, the morning after pill was made available over the counter. People are divided from Congress to Main Street this morning. The latest details and your reaction coming up in a live report. Amanda Knox, speaking publicly for the first time this week since returning from Italy, will tell you what you'll see if you read her new book. Good morning to you on this middle of the week Wednesday. As always, thank you so much for waking up with us again. I'm Shelley Monahan.
And I'm Sean Owsley. Good morning to you on a Wednesday. Some critical information we want to get out to you this morning as you send your children off to school, as they're getting up, getting breakfast, and then make that journey to school. Have you had recent talk with them about stranger and the danger that they can pose around school grounds? Well, obviously that is critical right now in our crime tracker. We bring in Kalai Chalk this morning to talk about a letter sent home with parents at a local elementary school and the potential dangers to children as they come and go from school. And we have a letter here. Outline it for us, Kalai.
Yeah, well, this was sent home from Arlington Elementary yesterday from the school principal after two first graders were approached as they waited to go to school by a suspicious woman. You can see the school is just north of Francis and east of Crestline here in northeast Spokane. And the parents who were nearby were able to call 911 and notify them of the suspicious woman. But as you mentioned, it just goes to serve as a reminder to all of us, especially parents, that we need to make sure our kids are very aware of strangers and what might happen if they approach them.
Kalai, it is really a 10-minute conversation that can make a difference for a lifetime. Obviously, you want to keep the kids safe. That's first and foremost the priority. Let's walk through the steps. You say develop a plan.
Absolutely, develop a plan. So this means, you know, kids may be approached by someone who's asking for directions, who's offering them something enticing, like a chance to pet their puppy, maybe even candy, even someone in a uniform. Children need to be aware that they need to be leery of these people that they don't know.
The one that scares me as a parent is somebody say, hey, I'm friends with your mom. She asked me to pick you up. There's a way around that. Have a family password.
Yes, and this was actually our middle names when we were little because we never used our middle names. So my mom said if anyone ever comes and says, hey, your mom sent me to pick you up, ask if they know the family password, ask what it is. If they know Kathleen, then they know it's okay to go with them. But a reminder, don't make it your dog's name. Don't make it something simple that just someone down the street would know or be able to guess.
All right, make it something very unique and specific. Also, do not walk alone. That speaks for itself.
Right.
There are safety in numbers.
Right, and it's something else that I think is interesting. You know, you may have 3 or 4 different routes from your home to the park or to school. Know which route your children take. So if they don't show up or if something happens, you're going to know exactly which route to take in order to find them and try to track them down.
You also say locate safe houses.
Absolutely. Take a walk with your kid on Sunday, Saturday afternoon. Walk with them to the school and say, hey, we know these people. We know that you could go there if something ever happened. We know this business. Mom gets her dry cleaning from there. You can walk in and ask whoever for help.
Yeah,
Make sure that they know these areas because sometimes home is just too far.
Who to trust.
Absolutely. There's a difference between friends and friendly strangers. You and I are chatty people. We'll talk to the person next to us in the grocery store line. Right. Spokane's small. You recognize the same people several different places that you go. That doesn't mean that they're friends of the family. It means that they are friendly strangers. Your children need to know the difference.
And the bottom line, the last one, always tell.
Yes. So this means tell a teacher, tell a parent. Even call 911. Parents are pretty good at knowing to call 911, but I should say actually elementary schools are really good at identifying whether this is an issue, and again, whether it's important to send a letter home just like this one, reminding parents what happened and reminding parents to talk to their kids about all of these safety tips.
Kalai, a great conversation with this morning, some great information for the parents out there. And you know, kids, if you see something suspicious, if your instinct says that, yell, run, get away from there as fast as you can. Shelley?
All right, KHQMD indeed, yes, a good reminder for all of us as parents. Well, in just a couple of days, 15-year-olds will be able to purchase the Plan B or morning after pill at drugstores. This after the U.S. government lowered the age on Tuesday. This morning, KHQ local news reporter Katie Steiner has details on that decision and what you had to say in regards to the shift in policy from the federal government. Katie, good morning again.
Good morning, Shelley. Well, here's what happened. The government actually decided to lower the age that you can get the morning after pill. So now anyone 15 years and older can walk into a drugstore and get that morning after pill without a prescription. And so before that, anybody who wanted the morning after pill would have to be at least 17 years old. Now a girl can buy a pill before she can legally drive. Now this lowered age will start on Monday, and anyone who wants to buy the pill still has to prove their age with a government-insured ID. Now, we put this story on Facebook for you to comment on, and we had over 300 responses. Janet said, well, I guess less teenage unwanted pregnancies. And Holly said, if you're not ready for a baby, you're not ready for sex. I think Plan B needs a prescription. Might scare the girls enough to wait till she's older and married, the way it should be. Now, if you'd like to join the conversation on our Facebook page, just head to Facebook and search KHQ Local News, and you can join that conversation right there. Reporting live in Spokane, Katie Steiner, KHQ Local News Today.
All right, thanks very much, Katie. Well, today marks the anniversary of the May Day riots that caused tens of thousands of dollars of damage to Seattle businesses and what some say remains a black eye on the Seattle Police Department. Well, this year, police and potential rioters are preparing for a long day on Wednesday. Police officials say they will have ample officers and authorities and law enforcement out to provide a safe and peaceful environment for those people interested in carrying out their First Amendment rights. Police spoke generally on Tuesday on how they plan to stop a repeat of last year's damage, avoiding specifics that might put some in harm's way.
Well, it was back to high school for 3 deputies, but they weren't there for education. They were working undercover. The San Diego deputies were part of a year-long sting operation. Sheriff's officials say the deputies took tests and sat through classes just like the other students, but they were buying drugs as well: marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and oxy. The deputy students have so far arrested 16 people, including some current and former students.
Right now, your weather on the 6s.
And good morning. Well, many of you saw some pretty weird weather yesterday. Of course, we had anything from snowflakes, hail, sleet, rain, graupel, but the wind's a little bit calmer. Now things really calming down for us today. Again, all of that weird weather yesterday all comes to us from the instability from the low pressure system that was overhead. That has now quickly moved on out of the region and being replaced by high pressure, which starts to clear us up and warm us up. So today, mostly clear skies, 57 degrees. The high temperature and a warming trend starts today. And look at that picture. Absolutely beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky over downtown Spokane. Mostly sunny skies. 30 degrees the temperature in Spokane right now. 25 in Coeur d'Alene. 24 in Omak. And again, it's those northern valleys across Ferry, Stevens, Pend Oreille, Bonner, Boundary counties where we're seeing some temperatures into the teens this morning. And especially you factor in the winds. Only about 3 miles per hour in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. But look at Omak, 7 miles per hour. And it actually feels like 16 degrees in Omak. Don't worry though, we'll be in the 70s by the weekend. I'll have your full forecast coming up in a few minutes, Shelley.
Yeah, there are viewers right now that don't want to hear that 16-degree temperature, my darling. All right, we're very happy to let you know this morning on our KHQ Facebook page we have 2 speech therapists in-house with us. Carrie and Chandel, thank you to both of you for being here. Want to talk to parents, for those of us that have had children that have had to have tubes put in their ears because of chronic ear infections. Some parents initially, when they're told that, it's a very scary thing.
It can be. I personally also had a daughter who had to have PE tubes put in, and just the idea of her having to have sedation and go under. But it was significant improvement because once we got the PE tubes in and we got through the phase of coming home, putting her to bed, waking up, and there's drainage on the pillowcase and going, okay, this is normal, it's okay, doing the drops in her ears, I saw a significant improvement in what she could hear and what she could say within weeks. She was saying much more sounds and then words, and it was so encouraging because before she had the ear infections, she always sounded, her sounds to her would have been underwater. All the speech would have sounded like she was underwater. So she was she also talked very loud, and we always were like,
because she couldn't hear normally, right?
Yes.
Right.
So we saw significant improvement, and so I would encourage any parent who has been recommended to get PE tubes to go ahead and look into it further, or talk to a therapist, or talk to your ENT.
All right. Well, again, thank you to both of you for being here this morning. A lot of questions you're getting so far, huh?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
All right, Sean?
All right, it is 6:09 and it's time to go out on the water and spend some time live on the water with the rowing team. Matt Rogers out and about to show us what is happening very early this morning. Matt, good morning.
Sean, good morning to you. Yeah, we're not out on the water yet because we got to get those muscles loosened up here, doing some stretching. I'm with the Gonzaga women's rowing team, and I tell you what, I am just blown away by the dedication that these ladies have. Getting out here, I'm out on Silver Lake at 6 o'clock in the morning in preparation for a practice. I want to introduce you to a couple of seniors on the team. On the left, Christine Powers, and on the right, Christy Mintel. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
All right, I'm going to start with asking you a little bit about this routine. This is early. It's 25 degrees outside, but you know what? It's all about dedication, isn't it, for you guys?
Yeah, you also do get acclimated to this. I kind of joke, after we went and raced at DC, I came back and I was still in the East Coast time zone for about 2 weeks, which really helped with that.
Well, Christy, I was going to ask you, I mean, you guys just got back from California this past weekend, competing in the Western Intercollegiate Championships, and you did very well. Tell our viewers how you guys did down there and what you're going to take from that as you prepare for the West Coast Conference Championship.
Well, we won gold in all of our races, which was awesome and a really good experience going into WCCs, and we're hoping to keep that tradition of winning up and going for the next couple of weeks as we head into West Coast Conference. I'm
really excited to get out there on the water with you guys here in just a little bit, because the way you have to work together to make these boats go, that's really what it's all about. And talk about the team, the camaraderie, the fact of how important it is to work together, if you could, for us, Christine.
Well, you know, if one person's not pulling with the team, then the rest of the people can't apply their power. And we're with each other in these early mornings, you know, when it's cold. We're struggling here together. And it really brings us into being one team rather than a bunch of individuals.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for sharing that. And again, I'm going to go out on the water with you coming up in just a little bit. And, you know, I got to tell you, you know, if you haven't ever seen this in person, the rowing, it is absolutely amazing. It is a sport that requires so much teamwork and so much dedication, and we're going to find out all about it. I'm going to interview the head coach, the guy that has to get these gals, you know, where they need to be come May. I believe it's 18th for the West Coast Conference Championships. We'll be out on the water, Sean and Shelley, in just a little bit.
All right, we'll be checking back with you. Something tells me if Matt doesn't pull his weight, they're dumping him overboard.
Yeah, he's dead weight.
All right.
He's out.
It is 6:12 and still ahead on KHQ Local News today. Are you prepared if a burglar is looking to steal from your property?
No amount of money is worth going to jail.
Coming up in just a few minutes, you'll hear how an alarm potentially saved a Spokane Valley business from being burglarized.
And if you're flying back to Seattle this week, you might want to check with your insurance company. Your car might be one that burst into flames there. We'll explain straight ahead. And as we head to break, Shelley, if you want a smile on your face, an illustration of dance like no one's watching.
Watch KHQ Local News and Ellen on your mobile device, free in the App Store right now.